collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Arc Ariser from Ultraman Arc. Now this is our brand new Ultraman, just premiered last Friday, so we have one episode so far. I watched the first episode. It was okay. Nothing super exciting. I'll be interested to see, where it goes from here. Obviously the first episode just kind of laying the groundwork, so not terrible, not amazing. We'll see how it goes. But here is the Arc Ariser, and it does come with the Ultraman Arc Cube. So there you go. Arc featured very prominently here on the left side of the packaging. Up here showing some of the other forms that he's going to have. I think this is the solar armor and the lunar armor. So they'll have their own cubes coming out later on in the future. Nothing really going on down here. Over here showing you put the cube in, and then you have to like Rubik's Cube this thing to move it around to get it to transform. We'll take a look at that. Another picture of Arc here on the side. And then over here on the back, really just showing you, eventually these two cubes will come out and they'll go in here as well to give them these armors. Also has this sword. This is the Arc sword? No, that can't be right. Arc Eye sword? Oh, yeah, okay. Because it looks like it has a little pair of glasses in there that he like pulls it. He holds his hand up to his face and it kind of appears and those line up with his eyes. So I guess this is called the DX Arc Eye Sword. Sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's the QR code for the manuals. It does take 3 AAA batteries for the Arc Ariser itself. The Arc Cube comes with its own LR44 battery, so that's nice. You don't have to supply those, just the 3 for the Arc Ariser itself. But yeah, we'll go ahead, we'll get everything out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is everything you get in the box. You get the Arc Ariser, and you get the Arc Cube. The cubes are kind of neat. Now, there is a promotional cube going on. There's like a gold one that I think has... I think it's called like the New Generation Cube or something like that. I think it has Arc and Blazer. I'd have to go back and look at it. I unfortunately did not get it. Apparently there's also like a Not a Kitty set that has this and the sword all packaged together. I didn't know about that until after I ordered everything separately, and apparently the sword doesn't come out for like another 2 weeks. Unless you get the Not a Kitty set, then you would get both of them now. So I'm assuming that the cubes went with the sets first, and then if they had any left over, they probably gave them out with this. Or maybe it was exclusive to the set. I don't know. Either way, I didn't get one, so that's kind of a bummer. Maybe I'll track one down one day. But the cube is kind of a neat idea. We took a look at one of these previously. I have the one here from the magazine, the Telebi magazine version one, and you can tell right off the bat that this one is much heavier than this one because this is a DX one. So this one had no electronics inside whatsoever. Still had a button, but it didn't do anything. This one does have electronics inside, although the makeup is pretty much the same. You have a nice sticker here with Arc, some nice holofoil there. This is number 1, whereas this one was just EX. So you can see how they numbered it there. So again, nice holofoil sticker. You got the rail system here on the back. This is B001. Here's where you pull the little tab out to activate the batteries. Speaker up here in this area will light up. Doesn't light up on its own, but when you put it in the Arc Ariser, this area will light up. But it does have sounds on its own, which is pretty cool. So in the normal, like, used for transformation mode, it just makes this one sound. Nothing incredibly thrilling about that, but if we hold the button down, then it goes into what they call sound mode. So you get a phrase. Get the transformation jingle there. A little sound effect. That's like Arc firing his beam. And then you get the color timer. If you hit it again, it just goes back around. Hold it down again. goes back to the other mode. So not bad. I mean, it would be cool if it lit up on its own, but I do appreciate the fact that it has some phrases and stuff in there, some cool sound effects. I appreciate that. Already more exciting than Blazer Stones, in my opinion. And then coming here to the Arc Ariser itself, it's interesting. So obviously the cube goes here in the center. You can see the track that we're going to have to line up for the rail system here. We have a speaker right here. There is a battery compartment back here that takes 3 AAA batteries. The on and off switch is right here. The one thing I wanted to point out, this very clearly looks like there was going to be extra buttons, and then maybe they just took them out. Or maybe they're already getting ready for like a memorial version of this that they plan on doing later on. And those buttons will actually be buttons later on and play like background music or something. So I don't know. Either my guess is something was planned and they took it out at the last minute, or this is already the mold going to be used for a future release that'll have more functionality. Either way, that's weird, but it's very clear that there was probably something going on, and these were probably buttons or meant to be buttons at some point. But in any case here, you have a little button you can press in that pops this piece out so that it helps you get the cube out of there. Once you put it in, then you just push it back in. We'll go ahead and turn this on. Oh, that's another thing. After you use the cubes and you let them sit for a while, they make a weird sound when they turn themselves off. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. Doesn't really do anything on its own. If we just kind of turn this around. If there's no cube inserted, it just kind of makes like a weird metal sound, like you're kind of moving everything around. So that's what it's going to look like when we're done. So we'll turn this back. So in the kind of base version of this, you're going to have the full gray circle here. Because this kind of looks the same. Honestly, when you turn this, it doesn't look much different. But you can see that the gray circle is only halfway done now. So that's how you can tell how it's supposed to be in kind of the base mode here. But yeah, we'll just go ahead. We'll take this. And you have to line this up. So this part should be facing forward. And line that up with that. Alright, so it's waiting for us to turn it. That's 1. That's 2. And that's it. That's really all that it does. You can see the light illuminates this, so that flashes and looks pretty good. I do like the metallic red and blue paint. I think that looks kind of sharp. Got some nice silver here. But yeah, this thing doesn't really do anything. I was hoping that these were buttons, because I was hoping after you transform, maybe you'd hit a button, you'd get like an attack sound or a phrase or something, just like maybe 1 or 2 additional sounds after you transform. But no. Now, we do get them in the cube on its own, but not anything in here. So what I want to try next, let me go ahead and pop this out. There we go. We will push this back down and then swivel these back around. I want to try to transform in the other mode. Alright, so let's see what happens. Let me line this up. There we go. So you can transform in the other mode. It really doesn't do anything different. I kind of wish there was something, because I can't access the cube once I've transformed. If there was some kind of button here on the side, and all it would have to do is be a button you could depress that would just kind of have like a plastic rod or a cylinder or something that could hit the button on the cube. That way I could access the cube's button from being inside the changer or the arcorizer, and then I could activate those sounds again. But there's nothing like that. So once you put the cube in, it's cut off. You can transform in either mode, but it would have been nice to have some way to utilize those sounds after transformation, but unfortunately there's not. So you're just going to have to pop it back out. It kind of sounds like it's changed back into the regular one, so maybe when you pop this in, it overrides it somehow, so maybe having a button there would not make any sense. That seems to be the case. It's just kind of a shame. I just feel like it's fun that the sounds exist. We got them, they're in the cube, but there's no way to utilize them when you put them in the arcorizer, because it kind of puts it back to the like default quote-unquote boring mode, where it just makes the one sound, which is kind of a bummer. So that's it. You kind of transform, you get the jingle, and that's really it. But you can transform, or I should say you could get that jingle from just the cube. So like, technically you don't really need this part of it, unless you really like Rubik's Cubes. And you just like swiveling this around. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It's a little disappointing. It's not super exciting. I think the cubes are kind of cool. I like the sounds that we have in the cube. I just wish I could use the cube with this and still get the sounds after I've inserted it into this, which you kind of can't. One last thing to try out before we go. I can go ahead and try this Television Magazine cube. So we'll go ahead and pop this in here. Now, we don't have to press the button on the side for this one because there's no electronics, but... So, transformation jingle, pretty much the same. It just has that small phrase at the end after everything else is over. Otherwise, it's pretty much just the same sound effects as the other Arc Cube that we have. So I wish there was more to show you, but that's pretty much it. I can't decide how I feel about this thing, honestly. I will say I think it's more fun than the Blazer Brace. That had the cool LED light function thing going, but the motor for that was so loud that it kind of drowned out any other sounds, and this doesn't suffer from that. So it does light up, it illuminate the cubes. You know, the two we have so far are blue, but other ones will be other colors, so I think that'll be fun. The Rubik's Cube aspect of it is okay, might get tiresome after a time, we'll see how it goes, but for now it's okay. But it has a really nice loudspeaker right in the front. You don't have to worry about that loud motor from the LED screen. I think going a little bit more simplistic this year was the right choice. And the cubes are neat. I think they're kind of cool. I like the lentacular stickers that we have there. I think that's very cool. It has sound effects on its own, which I appreciate. It has two different modes. It has the kind of henshin mode, and then it has the sound mode where you get some phrases and other sounds out of it, which I think is kind of neat. So I think it's more of an exciting gimmick than the Blazer Stone. The other thing is I can tell who this is. Now, it might get harder as time goes on once we collect more of these, but I think it's going to be much easier to tell the characters apart on these than they were on the Blazer Stones, because after a while, all the Blazer Stones started to look the same to me. Plus, these will be numbered, so that might be something you can easily reference. But yeah, I think the cubes are a cooler gimmick than the Blazer Stones. I think this is about on par with the Blazer Brace in terms of functionality, but I think it's ultimately going to be better because it doesn't have that ridiculously loud motor. Like, all the sound effects I can hear from this are pretty cool. I just wish there was a way I could use the sound mode to transform and then access those other sounds while it's still in the Arcorizer, and they've just decided not to do that, which I guess is fine, but it doesn't give it much to do. You kind of pop the cube in, you do the Rubik's Cube aspect of it, it does the jingle, and then that's it. There's nothing else to do. It would have been nice to have a button where you could get another phrase or an attack sound or something after you've transformed. I just think that would have been fun. But again, we get them. They're in the cube. You just can't access them once the cube is in the Arcorizer, which is kind of weird to me. But in any case, we'll see how it goes. Right now, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's okay. We'll see how it goes. I think once we get more cubes, it'll probably be more fun. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. That's what it's going to be. We'll see how the sword goes. I know the sword has the ability to like light up all the different colors depending on what color the cube is. I think that's kind of neat. I don't know if it'll have different sounds according to what cube you put it in. I don't know if it also has a reader or what, but it does change the color of the blade, so I guess it must. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm kind of staying cautiously optimistic for the show, and for this, I'm not upset. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of okay right now, but I think as we get more cubes, it might unlock more of its potential, and I think it could end up being kind of fun. So, kind of a lukewarm reception on the Arcorizer at this point. Maybe time will tell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.